Libra. The moment you realize you're ready to grow. There comes a moment, Libra, when something deep inside you simply decides. Not with drama, not with fanfare, but with a quiet, unmistakable certainty that changes everything. And that moment may be closer than you think. In fact, for many of you, it may have already arrived. You might not have recognized it yet because growth does not always look the way we expect it to. It does not always come wrapped in a bow or announced with trumpets. Sometimes growth begins as a restlessness, a dissatisfaction with the way things have been, a stirring in your soul that tells you there is more to experience, more to become, more to offer. And if you have been feeling that restlessness lately, if you have been sensing that the old patterns and old routines no longer fit the person you are becoming, then this message is exactly what you need to hear right now. Because the readiness you are feeling is not accidental. It is not random. It is the universe's way of telling you that the next chapter of your life is waiting for you to step into it. Awakening 1. The first thing you need to understand about this moment of readiness is that it did not happen overnight. It has been building for a very long time, perhaps longer than you realize. Every experience you have had, every relationship you have navigated, every challenge you have faced, and every joy you have celebrated. All of it has been laying the groundwork for this exact point in your journey. You are not starting from scratch, Libra. You are building on a foundation that is decades deep and incredibly strong. The wisdom you carry is not something you read in a book or heard in a lecture. It is earned wisdom, lived wisdom, the kind that comes only from walking through fire and coming out the other side still standing. And it is that wisdom that is now telling you that you are ready for something new, something bigger, something that matches who you have truly become rather than who you used to be. This is not about pretending that the past did not happen or dismissing the life you have built. It is about recognizing that you have outgrown certain containers that once held you perfectly. The shoes that fit 5 years ago are too tight now. The roles you played with such dedication are ready to evolve. And the person looking back at you in the mirror is someone who has changed in ways both subtle and profound, someone who deserves a life that reflects their current depth and capacity. When you understand this, when you truly accept that growth is not a betrayal of the past, but a natural continuation of it, everything shifts. The guilt falls away, the hesitation dissolves, and what remains is a clear, clean readiness to move forward. Awakening 2. There is a particular energy surrounding you right now that is unlike anything you have experienced in recent memory. It is an energy of expansion, of opening, of becoming. You can feel it in the way your thoughts have been shifting, becoming more ambitious, more creative, more focused on possibility rather than limitation. You can feel it in the way certain fears that once controlled you are losing their grip, becoming smaller and less convincing with each passing day. This is not your imagination, Libra. This is real. This is the energetic signature of growth, and it is pulsing through your life with increasing intensity. The old voices that used to tell you it was too late, that your best years were behind you, that change was only for the young. Those voices are growing quieter, and in their place a new voice is emerging. A voice that speaks with calm authority, a voice that says you are not finished, a voice that insists there are entire dimensions of your potential that have not yet been explored, gifts that have not yet been shared, adventures that have not yet been lived. This voice is not reckless or naive. It understands the realities of your life, the responsibilities you carry, the practical considerations that must be honored. But it also understands something that the fearful voices never could. That growth and responsibility are not enemies. They are allies. That you can expand and deepen and evolve while still honoring everything and everyone you care about. In fact, your growth will make you more present, more loving, more capable of showing up for the people and purposes that matter most to you. Awakening 3. Let me tell you something about readiness that most people never learn. Readiness is not a feeling you wait for. It is a decision you make. And the fact that you are here, listening to this message, engaging with these words, tells me that the decision has already been made somewhere inside you, even if you have not yet spoken it aloud. You are ready, Libra. You are ready not because everything is perfect or because you have figured out every detail of what comes next. You are ready because you have reached a point where staying the same feels more uncomfortable than changing. You are ready because the cost of remaining in your comfort zone has become greater than the cost of stepping out of it. And this is a powerful, powerful place to be. Most people never reach this threshold. Most people choose the familiar discomfort of stagnation over the unfamiliar discomfort of growth. But you are not most people. You are a Libra, which means you have an innate understanding of balance and transition. You know intuitively that nothing stays the same forever, that seasons change, that what was once appropriate and helpful can become restrictive and limiting if we cling to it too long. And you have clung long enough. Not because you were weak or afraid, but because you were honoring a season that needed to be honored. But that season is ending now. A new one is beginning. And the readiness you feel in your bones is the transition between the two. Awakening 4. Here is what growth actually looks like for a Libra at this stage of life, and it is probably quite different from what you might expect. It is not about reinventing yourself from the ground up or abandoning everything you know. It is about refinement. It is about taking everything you have learned and everything you have become and bringing it into sharper focus. Think of a sculptor who has been working on a piece for years. The basic shape has been carved out long ago. The proportions are right. The stance is correct. But now comes the most exciting part. The detail work. The fine lines around the eyes. The expression on the face. The subtle textures that turn a good piece into a masterpiece. That is the kind of growth you are being invited into right now. The masterpiece phase. The phase where all your accumulated wisdom, all your hard-won understanding, all your natural grace and elegance come together in a way that is breathtaking in its completeness. You are not becoming someone new, Libra. You are becoming more fully yourself than you have ever been before. And there is a profound difference between those two things. Becoming someone new requires you to leave yourself behind. Becoming more fully yourself requires you to embrace every part of who you are. The light and the shadow, the strength and the vulnerability, the certainty and the doubt. All of it matters. All of it belongs. And all of it is needed for what comes next. Awakening 5. There is something happening in your emotional landscape that deserves attention, because it is both a sign and a catalyst of the growth that is unfolding. You are becoming more honest with yourself. Not in a harsh, critical way, but in a gentle, compassionate way that allows you to see things clearly without judgment. You are looking at certain patterns in your life, patterns of people-pleasing, patterns of self-sacrifice, patterns of putting everyone else's needs before your own, and you are recognizing them for what they truly are. Not virtues as you once believed, but habits that have kept you small. This is an enormous breakthrough, Libra, because as long as you believed that sacrificing yourself was noble, you could never give yourself permission to grow. Growth requires that you take up space, that you make your own needs a priority, that you say no to things that drain you so you can say yes to things that nourish you. And for someone who has spent a lifetime seeking harmony and avoiding conflict, this kind of self-assertion can feel almost dangerous. But it is not dangerous. It is necessary. It is the doorway through which all your future blessings will flow. When you give yourself permission to grow, you give the universe permission to deliver the abundance that has been waiting for you. And that abundance is considerable, Libra. It has been accumulating behind the dam of your self-denial for years, and now that the dam is beginning to crack, the flow is about to become extraordinary. Awakening 6. Something else is shifting as well, something that connects directly to the core of who you are as a Libra. Your understanding of balance is evolving. For most of your life, you have thought of balance as a state to be achieved. A perfect equilibrium where everything is in its right place and nothing is in excess or deficit. But now you are beginning to understand that balance is not a destination. It is a dance. It is a dynamic, ever-moving process that requires constant adjustment, constant attention, constant willingness to let go of what was and embrace what is. This new understanding is revolutionary for you, because it releases you from the impossible standard of perfection that has haunted you for so long. You no longer need to get everything right before you move forward. You no longer need to have all the answers before you take the first step. You can move imperfectly, make mistakes, stumble and recover, and still be in balance, because balance is not about being perfect. It is about being present. It is about being responsive to what each moment requires. And in this moment, what is required is growth. What is required is the courage to say yes to the expansion that is calling you forward. What is required is the faith to trust that the universe will catch you if you fall, and the wisdom to know that even falling is part of the dance. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Awakening 7. Let us talk about what this growth might look like in practical terms, because while the spiritual and emotional dimensions are crucial, you also live in a physical world with physical needs and physical realities. The readiness you are feeling is not just about inner transformation. It is also about outer change. It is about making different choices in your daily life, choices that align with the person you are becoming rather than the person you used to be. This might mean finally pursuing that interest or hobby that you have been putting off for years, telling yourself you were too old or too busy or that it was too late. It might mean restructuring your daily routine to include more time for activities that bring you genuine joy and fulfillment, even if that means saying no to obligations that no longer serve you. It might mean having a conversation you have been avoiding, setting a boundary you have been afraid to set, or making a decision you have been postponing because you were waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment does not exist, Libra, but this moment is close enough. This moment, right here, right now, is the one where you can begin to translate your inner readiness into outer action. Not all at once, not in a dramatic throw everything away kind of way, but gradually, intentionally, with the grace and thoughtfulness that are your natural gifts. One small change at a time, one new choice at a time, one step forward at a time. That is how Libras grow best. Not through revolution but through evolution. Awakening 8. There is a particular kind of courage that belongs uniquely to those who have lived long enough to know what real loss feels like. It is not the brash, fearless courage of youth, which often comes from simply not knowing what there is to lose. It is a deeper, quieter courage that comes from understanding the risks fully and choosing to move forward anyway. That is the courage you carry, Libra, and it is the most powerful form of courage there is. Because when you choose growth while fully aware of the vulnerability it requires, when you open yourself to new possibilities while knowing from experience that not every possibility works out the way you hope, you demonstrate a level of faith that shakes the very foundations of the universe. You are telling creation itself that you still believe. After everything you have been through, after every disappointment and every betrayal and every moment when you wanted to give up, you still believe. You still believe that life has more to offer you. You still believe that the best is yet to come. You still believe that growth is worth the risk. And that belief, Libra, that stubborn, beautiful, unbreakable belief, is the most powerful force you possess. It is the engine of your transformation. It is the fire that fuels your evolution. It is the light that guides you through the uncertainty of change toward the clarity of your next becoming. Never underestimate the power of your own belief. Awakening 9. As you step into this new phase of growth, you may notice something happening with the people around you. Some will be inspired by your transformation and will begin their own process of growth in response. Others may feel threatened by it, not because your growth diminishes them in any way, but because it reminds them of their own unrealized potential, and that can be an uncomfortable mirror. This is one of the most challenging aspects of personal growth, especially for someone like you who values harmony and connection above almost everything else. The temptation will be to slow down, to dim your light, to make yourself smaller so that others feel more comfortable. But Libra, I need you to hear this clearly. Dimming your light has never helped anyone. Not you and not the people around you. When you shine at full brightness, you give others permission to do the same. When you grow boldly and unapologetically, you create a ripple effect that touches everyone in your orbit. Your growth is not a selfish act. It is a generous one. It is perhaps the most generous thing you can do for the people you love, because it shows them what is possible. It shows them that change does not have an expiration date. It shows them that life can be reinvented at any age, in any season, under any circumstance. And that message, delivered not through words but through the living example of your own transformation, is more powerful than 1,000 speeches. Awakening 10. There is a question that may have been lingering in the back of your mind, a question that you have perhaps been afraid to ask because you are afraid of the answer. The question is this: is it really possible? Is it really possible that at this point in your life, after everything that has happened, after all the years that have passed, that you can still experience genuine, meaningful growth? And the answer, Libra, is yes. Not just possible, but inevitable. Once the seed of readiness has been planted, once you have recognized and acknowledged that you are ready for something new, the growth will happen whether you consciously pursue it or not. It is like a river that has found a new channel. The water will flow. It cannot be stopped. It can only be guided, directed, shaped. And that is your job now. Not to create the growth because it is already creating itself, but to guide it, to shape it, to direct it toward the outcomes and experiences that matter most to you. You are not a passive participant in your own evolution. You are the architect. You are the one who decides what this next chapter looks like, what it contains, what it means. And the fact that you are making that decision now, at this point in your life, with this much wisdom and experience to draw upon, means that the chapter you are about to write will be the most beautiful one yet. Because you know what matters now. You know what is worth your time and energy and what is not. You know who you are and who you want to be, and the distance between those two things has never been smaller. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting. It's about moving. Awakening 11. Something remarkable is going to happen when you fully commit to this growth. The universe is going to respond. Not eventually, not someday, immediately. Because the universe has been waiting for you to reach this point, holding doors open that you did not even know were there, keeping opportunities warm for you, reserving blessings with your name on them. And the moment you say yes, the moment you step forward with genuine intention and commitment, those doors will swing wide open. Those opportunities will present themselves. Those blessings will begin to flow. This is not magical thinking, Libra. This is the way energy works. When you align your intention with the universe's intention for you, when your readiness meets its timing, the result is a kind of synchronicity that can only be described as miraculous. Things start falling into place in ways that defy logical explanation. Coincidences multiply. The right people appear at exactly the right time. Solutions to problems that seemed unsolvable suddenly become obvious. And through it all, you will feel a sense of being carried, supported, guided by something larger than yourself. That something is the same force that has been with you your entire life. The same force that helped you survive your darkest moments and celebrate your brightest ones. It has never left you, and it is not going to leave you now. In fact, it is more present and more active in your life at this moment than it has been in years, because it knows what you are about to do. It knows you are about to grow, and it is ready to grow with you. Awakening 12. Let me share something with you that I hope you will carry with you long after this message ends. The readiness you are feeling right now is not just about you. It is about something much larger. Every person who chooses growth, who chooses to become more fully themselves, who chooses to expand rather than contract in the face of uncertainty, contributes something essential to the collective human experience. Your growth matters not just to you and your immediate circle, but to the world. Because we live in a time when many people are choosing fear over faith, contraction over expansion, the familiar over the unknown. And every single person who makes the opposite choice, who steps forward instead of stepping back, who says yes instead of no, shifts the balance. You Libra are a balance shifter. It is in your very nature. And the growth you are about to experience will shift the balance in ways you cannot currently comprehend. The ripple effects of your transformation will reach people you will never meet, influence situations you will never know about, and contribute to a collective evolution that is slowly but surely transforming the human experience. This is not pressure, Libra. This is permission. Permission to grow without guilt. Permission to change without apology. Permission to become everything you are meant to be. Knowing that in doing so, you are serving not just yourself but the highest good of everyone around you. Awakening 13. Here is the truth that ties everything together. The truth that you need to carry in your heart as you move forward into this new phase of your life. You are not too old to grow. You are not too set in your ways to change. You are not too far along in your journey to discover something new about yourself and about the world. In fact, the opposite is true. You are at the perfect age for the deepest, most meaningful kind of growth there is. Because the growth available to you now is not the superficial kind. It is not about acquiring more things or achieving more status or impressing more people. It is about becoming more real, more honest, more present, more fully alive. It is about stripping away everything that is not essential and discovering, underneath all the layers of expectation and obligation and performance, the pure, beautiful, radiant soul that has been waiting patiently for this moment of recognition. That soul is ready to be seen, Libra. It is ready to be expressed. It is ready to step out of the shadows and into the fullest, warmest, most brilliant light. And the moment you let it, the moment you give it permission to emerge, your entire life will change. Not in a frightening way, but in a way that feels like coming home. Like finally, after all these years, arriving at the place you were always meant to be. That place is not somewhere out there waiting to be found. It is inside you waiting to be remembered. And the growth you are about to experience is simply the process of remembering. Awakening 14. So here you stand, Libra, at the threshold of something extraordinary. Behind you lies a lifetime of experience, rich and complex and deeply meaningful. Ahead of you lies a future that is open and spacious and full of possibility. And right here, right now, in this very moment, you hold the power to bridge the two. The readiness you feel is not a passing mood. It is not a phase. It is the genuine, authentic expression of who you are at the deepest level. A soul that was born to grow, to evolve, to become more with each passing year. The moment of realization has arrived. The moment when you look at yourself with clear eyes and say, yes, I am ready. Ready to learn what I have not yet learned. Ready to feel what I have not yet allowed myself to feel. Ready to be who I have not yet dared to be. This is your moment, Libra. This is the moment you will look back on and say, that is when everything changed. Not because something happened to you, but because something happened inside you. A shift, a click, a quiet, powerful, irreversible decision to stop waiting for life to change and to start being the change itself. The universe has been waiting for this. Your future self has been waiting for this. And now, finally, beautifully, inevitably, you are ready. You are so ready. And the growth that is about to unfold in your life will be the most magnificent proof of that readiness that the world has ever seen. You have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.